Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Can't Fake Real. It's been a minute. The energies of August and in general got me good. With the Lion's Gate, with the new moon, with the full moon. Yeah, I had a lot of integrating and newness come in, and I hope you are all with back to school, with fall less than a month away, enjoying these midsummer, last days of summer moments. I'm wearing my yellow today. On our other channel, we just finished filming the solar plexus chakra healing series, so go and check out the Attune Tribe if you haven't yet. But I thought I'd pop on here, maybe pull a card, tune into the energies, and just take a couple of seconds to breathe with y'all. The last video I did, I think, was about the two wolves, which is the Cherokee parable that a man tells to his grandson about the fear and the love that both live inside of us, that we get to choose which one. I guess the end was which one lives, and the grandfather says the one you feed. And so I feel a lot of us are moving through moments of, you know, excluding what's going on in the world that is often full of the fear, vibration, frequency. We're having that in our own lives, with the transitions, with the challenges, with the newness. Even they say change, no matter if it's good change, still triggers this, but this is new, but I haven't been here before, but you want me to let go of everything else to make room for what I've always wanted. And so even in, again, a lot of people I know in my life are welcoming children for the first time, or getting their dream jobs, and there is this expansion, right? And with the expansion comes contraction. We've talked about, I believe. And so how to navigate those, I think first and foremost is having a really strong personal practice. I myself have a therapist, I have a coach, I do energy healing, I have beautiful friends and family that I can sit with as I'm navigating. And those things are all beautiful, and I think they're all, like, community is part of why I'm doing this channel, and our other Attune Tribe is so important to be reflected and to not feel so alone. That in itself alchemizes things. But within our own self, our own private practice, that has nothing to do with anybody. I do daily walks in nature. I meditate. I pull cards, occasionally just to tune in and get a hit. I have a snoring dog right now. If you're new to this channel, there's usually dogs of all sorts and kinds around me. So I have a little schnauzer right now snoring over here. And so I won't make this too long. I just want to check in. Midsummer energies, all the newness, all the there just seems like a lot of beautiful things that are popping up here now, for the collective I'm tuned into and that I know. And so, the first maybe only card that we're going to pull is called the Despicable Face. That's the Latin term for it, volte facium. And let's see what this means. I feel like it's got the yellow and this and kind of like back there. So Roman numerals, here we go. Let's see if my Catholic school upbringing helps me a little bit here. I am pulling from the Alchemy deck. It's one of my favorites, Kim Cran's. My very, very, very first tarot deck was by her, which is The Wild Unknown. Give me a second here. Despicable Face. 185, which is actually my birthday. Paying attention to the numbers, the synchronicities too. That's always fun. Okay, the Despicable Face. Keywords. What is hidden, unaccepted, and shamed? The Despicable Face is never seen. Rather, it is kept in hiding to save outward appearances. This card appears when something below the surface wants to be witnessed in order to be transformed. Everyone has their own version of the Despicable Face and their own reasons for assuming it is an abomination. It could be buried, present, resentment, insecurity, or a physical characteristic that holds us back from expressing our true self. Remarkably, once revealed, it is not despicable at all. It is human. It is interesting. What once was thought of as an error becomes an asset on our journey of alchemical transformation. What once was, this card connects us to others and to humanity as a whole. Through acceptance, we lift the veil of perfection and reclaim our energy. Honestly, honesty and acceptance are the balm that heals the most tender of wounds. Watch the movie Edward Scissorhands. Interesting. And to ponder acceptance as enlightenment. Okay, I love how the cards always come in and tie this all together. The purpose of community, the purpose of healing circles, the purpose of doing the work I do is to make us not feel like something is wrong with us, which is kind of a paradox, is it not? If you're going to a doctor to get healed or whatnot, is not usually because you think something's wrong. And so it's dismantling that when we are coming to get sustenance from our friends, from our energy workers, from our church, from our pastors, from our partners, from our children, that, let me just sit for a second. I don't know, something about Despicable Me. I think that movie's old and there might be a new one. The self-talk, the self-dialogue, that something's wrong with me, that I should need help, that I should need healing, that I should be farther along, the shoulds. That social media doesn't help with, right? Because it's easy for us to put a filter on, put a little ring light, hide my imperfections, my gray hair. Like, I think that's what Can't Fake Real is about. It's not completely being fake. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love me a good filter now and then, and I obviously do dye my hair. But deeper, the voices, the narratives, the upbringing, the patterning, the looping. Thank you, Casey. That are just being held on to, that don't need to be held on to, that don't need to be judged, that don't need to be hidden. 818 on the clock. Very important number to me. And so this place again is for us to come to share what's going on authentically. That there's realness in that the world needs to know. It's especially as AI and all the rest of things come on, that it's scars, flaws, hardships. They shouldn't be hidden. They shouldn't be all photoshopped. They shouldn't be glossed over. They shouldn't be swept under the rug. I'm not saying glorify it, because you can go the other way and glorify our wounds. And I know you can think of someone that has been just in the same pattern or on their 5th marriage, and it's the same dynamic. And we create our realities. I will continue to preach that and down your throat on this channel. And so when you can take that power back, again, go watch the next video, the solar plexus, all about our personal power. And taking our power back also means not being the victim, right? Not perpetuating that I'm despicable. Something's wrong with me. That's when the real shit happens. I'm going to pull one more card. It's the Drowned King. The Drowned King. Let's see if I can find this one a little faster. I'm not going to pretend to look for it. The Drowned King. 187. Okay. 2 pages over. All right, so the Drowned King, which, interesting, it's the next one in the series of these. How many ever cards there are? 70 something, 100? I don't know, a lot. The Drowned King, keywords: ego collapse, losing face, humility. In alchemy, the archetype of the king is often used as a symbol for the ego, the aspect of the self that is attached to its title, name, and identity. It is said that the Drowned King is a required phase in the process of transformation. Only through dissolving who they thought they were is the king able to become who they are destined to be. The benevolent, kind leader. How does the drowning occur? Not voluntarily, that's for sure. Imagining like this part of us that's kicking and screaming, holding face, like not the ego. It's the ego, right? It's all right. It's through circumstances beyond their control. The king is brought to their bottom, to their knees. When this card appears, expect a huge blow to the ego, impactful enough that it causes one to turn their life around, prioritizing grace over greed, benevolence over brutality, and sovereignty over selfishness. The Drowned King eventually resurfaces as a fully benevolent, changed being. Go deeper, watch the movie The King, 2018. Ponder the power of benevolence. Okay. And you can't make this stuff up. Can't fake real. Real stands for remembering, reclaiming everything as love. The ego, the despicable face, is the opposite. It's fear. Again, it's lack, it's scarcity, it's something's wrong with me. It's I'm never going to be okay. It's the inner little king fighting, clawing, teething until something, usually a contraction, brings us to our knees. And I want you to think of a time now in your life where something brought you to your knees, and the sense of defeat and the sense of shame and the sense of how am I going to get through this? For me, it was divorce. It was being on my own. It was being self-employed. It was going through the hardest years in my business. It was all these things where my ego was clinging to all those things that was saying that's my worth. That's who I am. That's how I'm going to survive. And it was in this breaking, this alchemizing, that I can now sit looking at you now. Who knows who's watching, who's tuning in, who's tuned off already, to say that I am the queen that has arisen, that now can stand on her own 2 feet off of her knees, that knows, again, underneath this body, this identity, this, all the stuff that we are born into, I am love and you are love. And I know it's Pollyanna, but it's the realest thing. And it's one of the highest frequencies outside of authenticity, keeping it real. And that's what I'm trying to transmit. That's what I'm trying to give. That's how I'm trying to show up in this world. And I'm not perfect, thank goddess. And you don't have to be either, to be a shining light, to have an open heart, to show up with your gifts, whether it's talking for 15 minutes at a camera, whether it's taking care of your family, whether it's a doctor or a veterinarian or a librarian. No matter who you are and what you do, when you go below the ego of those things, we're all one. We're all love. And I hope this video found you well. I hope that you are navigating the internal world as best you can while quieting the external and remembering what's real. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.